Then you think, maybe chili point if you don't go inside, the road looks good. Right, absolutely, exactly right. I'll talk. You and I are pretty tight. Ashley, all right. Alex and I are pretty tight. I told you, that's what it was today. I can't do it.
All right, now we're ready. Hopefully everybody was able to get their food and sit down. I know some are done, some are not, so please continue. At this time, I would like to introduce Mayor Randall Hutto. I always refer to him as Coach. He told me to make his bio short, so I'm not going to go through everything, and spoken as a true politician, he said he would love the opportunity to meet you if you don't know him. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Mayor Randall Hutto.
Well, it's an honor to be with you today, and thank you for taking time out of your day to be here. You know, as I was talking with Sarah Hastings just a second ago about what today is, and we always try to make it a little different, a little informative, and maybe not boring for you to come and listen to what's going on. And I'm going to talk about some things today that may or may not be on your radar. As we were talking, you know, what I'd try to address is the view of the whole county. Today we decided to kind of reflect on what many of us call the scoreboard these days, and that is the cell phone and Facebook, and that's where people kind of keep up with what's going on, but a lot of information is out there. So we've directed today's around 10 myths that you hear. And you got those at your table today, or at least most of you did. Got one at your table, and then we also posed a question for you to be able to maybe talk about during the time that you're at your table and eating. I'm going to ask one person from those tables to report out today when we get to that part. And then after that as well, there'll be a question that I'm going to ask you to scan, so you can get your phones ready to scan the QR code when it first comes up, and you'll ask a question at each one of these presentations. And so if we can, I'm going to get started here with our first one, if I can. Yeah, there we go, my Ghostbusters. Growth is the first topic, and I'm going to try to read from right here. Wilson County is growing out of control. New developments are popping up everywhere. It puts a strain on our school system. No one is planning ahead, and our schools can't keep up. Stop the building. That's what I hear almost every day. The question, who has question one, Sarah? In the back there, the question was, Wilson County is the least populated county per square mile than any other county outside of Davidson County. And we'll get to that one in just a second with a QR code. But the table question was, what does responsible growth look like to you, and what do you believe your county should prioritize? So tell us your name and give us a brief statement.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Artis Ferguson, and one of the things that we're looking at is zoning, utilities, sewer is a major concern, anticipating the growth ahead of its need, erosion and drainage, open communications channels, flow charting to understand city and county state partnerships, and more information on accessible regarding what is coming up in the city council. I know that's a lot, but I'm sure you've heard a lot of that before.
Thank you so much for that. Appreciate your table doing that. And if you will, scan the QR code right quick, and let's take a poll on this. Is the least populated so far? I got 67% of people saying yes. and it'll just keep riding as we go. And I'm going to move on for the sake of time if I can, but you're right. Wilson County is the least populated county around Davidson County at 259 people per square mile, compared to Williamson at 425 and Rutherford at 551. Wilson County was the fastest growing county from 2020 to 2024 percentage-wise in the state of Tennessee, but from 2020 to 2025, it dropped to fourth. So growth is slowing just a little bit. And when I say this next statement here, because the county is a broad term, but people say, you know, when they talk about county, they will say, you know, the county's growing out of control. For the last 7.5 years, 85% of the growth that has happened in the county has happened inside the cities. 61% in the city of Lebanon, 24% in Mount Juliet, 15% out in the county. And I say that, and that's not a negative. Our cities have created great places for people to want to come and live and play and shop. And we'll talk a little bit later on where that's what you really want at the end of the day. There's definitely a balance that has to happen there. But when we look at that, the question I get is that, are the planners working together? And so my statement to you today is they are working together. Our planners today, if a development happens in the city of Lebanon, they have a traffic engineer study that looks and says, does this development bother anything out in the county road network? A lot of people don't think it happens. They put that development in there, and they put all these cars out here in the county and causes the trouble, and you guys are asleep at the wheel. That is not true. Katz-Binkley is also, they're in touch with every planner, city, the Mount Juliet, Lebanon, and Watertown, as well as Wilson County, so they know where all of the developments are going in the county. So they direct our school system on where the population is about to be and where the next school system needs to be located. Every development in the urban growth boundary, that's a mile outside the city limits, has to go to the City Planning Commission of that jurisdiction for approval and suggestions there and working. So the county is working hard at trying to find the right balance as we look at this growth. They have been stingy, but there is also an issue with people's property rights, people wanting to sell their property and having a right to do that. Do I have any planners in the audience with me today? Any traffic engineers in the audience? Would you please stand? I know we have Corey Johns with Joint Economic Development. You may not want to stand, Kristen, but I mean, sorry. Kristen Rice does a tremendous job, but let me just speak on her behalf right now. Corey Johns is in here with Economic Development. I know Sarah Hastings with Economic Development. But these are the reasons that we have the growth that we have today. I'm going to go to the next one right quick. Infrastructure. We hear this one a lot as well. Infrastructure should be placed with the development before the development happens. We have it backwards in Wilson County. Developers is coming in, making all their money, leaving town, and they're not paying their fair share and putting the burden on the taxpayers, and we have to clean up their mess. The table question that you had was, as you think about infrastructure, when is it the appropriate time to put things in like water, sewer, roads, and other items like this in developments? What can be done to make sure the development pays their fair share? Sarah, where are we at? Take off, sir.
My name is Tim DeBuse with Goodman Mills Kaywood. And what we talked about was at the very beginning of the project is when to discuss these issues, open, honest conversations, and also generally good people can usually find a good solution.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Question that you got today for you to scan is this one. Is Wilson County government behind in infrastructure? 100%. Wow. I really hate being behind this desk, to tell you the truth. I got to get a little closer to you today. So 71% of you say yes. Won't be okay if I move, right? So when you say county, county is a broad term. We do not control things that happen inside the cities. We don't control water. We don't control sewer. We don't control step systems. We don't control electricity. And we don't control broadband. And so when we look at what we do control, and that's what I'm here to kind of help understand today, we control education. most of your tax dollars go there. We've built 12 schools in 12 years. We'll open the 13th school here in August at Central Pike Elementary. The 14th one we'll start construction on, which is Watertown Middle School. If the county commissioners in here vote for it. 7 renovations are already completed so far since 2013, and the 8th one will start in this summer with Lakeview Elementary. People think we're out of control with the building there with schools. We are caught up on schools. I have two portables at West Elementary, and when Central Pike Elementary opens up, we will have no portables in our schools. We control public safety. We've doubled the size of the jail. We have capacity there for probably 10 years or a little bit longer. With that new addition, we added a 911 office there to allow then for co-location with the sheriff's office in WEMA. So that allows for faster response times for the people to get, because those people that they usually transfer to are in that office with them. We're opening up a multi-level court system, which will open up on March of 2027. The 4th floor of that building is not finished at this point. We built 5 new WEMA stations, starting the 6th one with a grant at 109 soon, as well as an EOC that we're hoping to start with that grant as well. Purchased a ladder truck for the large buildings out in the county, established a fire truck and an ambulance replacement fund. When I go to county buildings, we're in charge of those as well. We added a clerk's office at the Mountain Jewett ball fields, if you know about that one. Turned the old Fred store into an election commission, added on to the UT Ag Extension office, upgraded the health department, and turned the old road commission into a new animal control facility that we're building today. Transportation, we bought the Surprise building out there, if you know what the Surprise building is. If you don't, you need to find out. And we turned that into a new complex for the road commission. We resurfaced and repaid over 500 miles over the last few years, and we just completed a study on county roads to identify the top 50 roads in the county that needs improvement. We are rolling out a plan to widen all county roads to 20 foot. That's 2 9-foot lanes and 1-foot shoulders, and we'll do those starting with the 10-foot roads. It will take a while, but that is something that's needed here. And a few years ago, Steve Armstead did that with taking all tar and chip roads and gravel roads to paved roads, and those are all done. So now it's time to get those county roads widened. We are working to put money aside to fund that particular project. And when you look at the projects that have been completed in the county here and just recently, 32 projects have been completed. But many times we forget the projects that's been done. They've widened I-40 already twice since I've been in office, and fixing to start the 3rd time from 840 to the Watertown exit. So 10 of those projects now are still in the works. So when I think about infrastructure, you know, I look at what the county commission controls, and we are caught up there. We are not behind in that particular part. We need to do better with our road network in the county, and we're addressing that and working with that. There was something else that came out just recently. News 2 put an article out. You probably saw it. It said Wilson County behind $2 billion in infrastructure. Well, the rest of the story is important there. $2.2 billion for Wilson County, $2.7 billion for Montgomery, $3.5 for Rutherford County, $4.8 billion for Williamson County. So that out of that $2.2 billion, $1.7 billion of that we don't control at all as far as the county goes. Those things are public health, bridges that you know we have 3 shut down in now that the state controls, utilities, water and wastewater, recreation, and post-secondary education. We do control $541 million of that $2.2 billion, and those are new schools, renovation of schools, solid waste, fire, law enforcement, and stormwater. The rest of the part of the story that they don't read in the title is that that was a study done by TASER, which was between July of 2024 to June of 2029. That is projected needs. But when you read it, you say we're behind that far, and we're not. And with all the conversation about growth, it just adds fuel to the fire. So hopefully, I just want you to know that when developments go in, and I just have to stick up for our governments that are here today, when a development goes in, that developer puts in his water and his sewer and his roads. He puts those things in as he goes. I don't think you want to foot the bill for him. So if you did the infrastructure ahead of time, it'd be your tax dollars taking care of him to make that development better. When you look at, well, how do we pay for that? Well, when they put the roads in, they turn them over to us. That's true at the county level, at the city as well. So the AFT, the adequate facility tax, is what pays to keep those up. And adequate facility tax is charged on apartments just like it is on houses. Everybody pays those. When you look at what takes care of the roads, you got the county property tax, you got the wheel tax, and the gasoline tax maintain those. When you talk about the utilities in there, they're not controlled by governments. They're controlled by the utility companies that we have in place with Middle Tennessee Electric and the Water and Wastewater Authority and the utility districts that are different. The fire and ambulance funds are funded by the adequate facility tax. And one thing that I think would really help us, and I know we have some people running for Congress in here, and that is the real estate tax. They tried to get that real estate tax to where we got the biggest portion back. We didn't used to get that, and what that means is this. So let's just say Dr. Stum decides that him and Christy are going to move to another place. And I got a bunch that comes in from Texas. I'm going to say Texas instead of them other cities, other counties, other states you think I'm going to say. When they come in here, and they got 5 kids, and they just moved into their house, I don't get any extra money for that. I got to educate the 5 kids. We don't have an adequate facility tax. We don't have any tax. I just got 5 new people and nothing to pay for. But that transfer tax would help me offset that, and that's about $6 million to the state, to Wilson County in a year. So we need to continue to try to fight to make that happen. But I just want you to know from a county perspective, and that's all I can speak on, is that the utility companies and those people take care of their infrastructure. But for the infrastructure, as far as we're concerned, we are up to date except for roads, and we're going to work on those. I know I have some county commissioners here that have helped make sure that we are up to date. County commissioners, will you stand up in the back, please? Please give them a round of applause, if you will. Thank you for being here today. The next one you got is agriculture land, and I hear this one as well. Traffic is all, I'm sorry, it is, I'll go back. We're in transportation, right? Did it get moved up on me, Brooke? Am I going towards the end? My bad. That's why technology's tough for me. So we just did infrastructure. Now we're ready for this one here, which is, I got one more? Agriculture land, okay. So I went too far in my list here, my bad. Okay, I'll get with it in a minute, sorry. Agriculture land, we're losing all of our agricultural land to the big warehouses and development. Soon they will eat up all the green space and there'll be nothing left but asphalt and buildings. And one day you won't know when you leave Lebanon and enter Mount Juliet. Table question was this: what is balanced growth? Can we get too much growth? Can we tell people they don't have a right to sell their land? And is when Wilson County gets too full? Sarah, who we got? Miss Amy?
Okay, so our tables, what is balanced growth? Controlling the variety of what is allowed, controlling growth between affordable housing and growth with some homes with space. And I know that's a challenge because, you know, when you get larger homes on larger lots, a lot of people, you know, cannot afford that. So that's always a challenge. And then can we get too much growth with the right infrastructure, like you just talked about the roads, and balanced growth? We can continue to grow in a way to accommodate, I think, all needs for most everybody. And then can we tell people they don't have the right to sell their land because we're just too full? Absolutely not.
Good question for you. Wilson County has only 29% open space. True or false? %100% false. That is right. Balanced growth is what we do look for in the county, and we do our best to do what we can to help that. But sometimes some of the stuff that we run into is uncontrollable. But with all the growth that you've seen here, Wilson County is still 69% open space. We talked about 7.5 years growth being inside the cities, and that's where it should be. That's what they were created for. The county is a little bit different in that area, but we still have the least populated county around Davidson, which is a big deal when you think about that as well because of being that close to a metropolitan city. We lead the state in century farms with 124 over 100 years old. We have 25 over 200 years old and 2 pioneer farms. The county commission heard people talk about growth and raised the lot size limit in the rural area from 1 acre for 1 house to 1 acre for 2 houses. So when you think about that, that really cut the density almost in half in the rural area. But when you think about that kind of cut, and it does allow for some growth in that area, but we went back and just looked and said, with all this talk about growth, is it really happening? Are we losing all this agricultural land? Here's a statistic for you. The last 3 years, we've had 2 rezonings that have created 114 extra lots above what's allowed for people to have by right. They have a certain right to do so many, 114 extra lots. They denied 230 acres. And if you divide that by 2 for 1 house for 2 acres, that's 115 lots. So that became a wash. So what about all this agricultural land that we're losing? We looked at that too. Land that was converted from A1 to C2, 3, or 4, commercial, outside the land that's been converted out by the Speedway to the Panattoni development out there. In the last 3 years, we've lost 58 acres. That's not a lot. And so when you hear this conversation, that's the myth that we have today. Now, have we lost, you say, well, there's a lot of commercial buildings here. We've lost 485 acres in the county from R1 to C3, 2, 3, or 4. But many of you will think that's okay because that's less people and more commercial. More commercial taxes mean less burden on the people that live here because they're paying quite a bit of your way. So when you hear that losing agricultural land, it's not happening yet here, okay? There is a balance in that particular part. And preservation of land is here. I mean, we lead the state today in century farms. So I want you to know as you think about the rich heritages here, you have the best, in my opinion, of all worlds here. You have 3 great cities to live in and go and do what you want to and play and have fun, and then you have a rural area that you can live and see the farmland and the cows. We have it all, I think, the best in Wilson County. Any farmers in the room that would stand? No farmers? I got one. Mr. Charlie Hatcher's here. In a small farm with Chris Crowell. Okay. Transportation. Here's the myth on this one. Traffic is awful in Wilson County. It takes me twice as long to get across town. There are tractor trailers everywhere, especially on the county roads that can't handle them. No one is doing anything about it, and the train used to run on Friday nights. What concerns do you have about roads, traffic, transportation in general, and what improvements would you like to see made? Sarah? Mr. Scott?
Hey, Mayor. Scott McCarver. I think we're mostly just concerned about the traffic. Do we have the appropriate road infrastructure where we need it? We want to be able to get from our house to the In-N-Out Burger as quickly as possible.
Great statement. Sarah liked that one. Have there been any road improvements in the last few years? Answer is false. And that is true. I just hope you know, I picked on Kristen Rice a while ago, but there's nobody in the business better than her, in my opinion, at what she does. But there are a lot of people working. We're not asleep at the wheel here, no pun intended. There have been 32 projects completed recently. But I just want to read you real quick what's in the GNRC 2050 plan. That's plans that have been made to be on the docket to be fixed. And the Greenway projects in Wilson County, Lebanon has 1, Mountain Juliet 5, Wilson County has 2. There are 6 railroad projects going on in Lebanon. Resurfacing projects, I have 2 in Lebanon, 1 at the state. Signals and sidewalks being improved. Lebanon has 10, Mountain Juliet has 15, the state has 1. Transit projects, Wilson County has 1, the state has 4. Road projects, which you're concerned about, Lebanon has 14, Mountain Juliet 10, Wilson County has 8. There are 5 state road projects in place right now going, and 3 state bridges. So in transportation, we know is a big deal. And I told you a while ago that we had the top 50 roads that had been identified to work on to get fixed. I also told you we're going to widen the county roads. There's safety projects going on all around where they're adding lanes, turning lanes. If you see those, you know they're there. We did do a STAR study just recently on the train about how to increase trips there, and we are working towards that. I had a meeting with a bunch of people from the Glade the other day in my office where we looked at the county and identified everywhere we need a no tractor trailer sign. And then they said, well, the people can't read, so we put the symbol of the truck up there and put a line across it. So we're doing all we can there. But just know that we know transportation is an issue for you. But I promise you, when I drive around town today, outside of when it goes time to go to work and school, you know, I get around pretty decent. I have to wait a little bit, but I got everything I want to do. I grew up in Watertown. We don't even have a red light up there. And I could get out anytime I wanted to, but when I wanted something, I'd have to drive 20 minutes to get something. So be thankful for what you have when you have a little bit of traffic, because that's not a bad thing. See what's next. Public safety. With all these people coming here, I'm concerned about our safety. To talk about ICE detention facility, ICE being in our courts. We're building another courthouse. We've doubled the size of the jail. Are we really safe? Table question was, what concerns do you have about public safety in our county, and what improvements would you like to see? And who is going to address that? Mayor Bell? All right.
That will be me.
Rightly so.
That'll be me.
We had Amy for real estate, Mayor Bell for us. Okay.
Well, before I begin, I do have two city councilors here with me, Phil Moorhead and Chris Crowell. And I mention their names for a couple of reasons. One is, when I came to the table, Phil handed me this piece of paper and said, you handle this. And then I also have, we haven't got this topic yet, but I have some educational history. When Chris and I were in high school, Mayor Hutto was our teacher.
I graduated early from college and high school. And they both failed my class.
But with public safety, I will talk about this from a Lebanon perspective. Over the past 10 years, our crime rate numbers have dropped. Not the percentages, the actual numbers. So over the past 10 years, obviously our population has grown, as Mayor Hutto's talked about, but our crime numbers have actually gone down as the population have gone up. So the percentages have actually dropped. You know, I can't speak for the other entities, but I will say this. You know, we have two other cities. I know Watertown does a great job. Mount Juliet. You know, when I follow their Facebook, they talk about how they have the best police department in the country. I disagree with that. But we all do a good job, I believe, in this area. And Mayor Hutto, you can speak about the sheriff's office, but I do think the key to this is keep updated with the right tools for our people, which is something I know all the agencies do. Because I feel like that the crime rate that I see in Lebanon is also across the county as well. So I think this is something we're really successful in.
And I agree. I hope you feel safe, and I know that there's been a large move to make sure that every time they catch a criminal here in Wilson County, whether it be in Lebanon or Mountain Juliet, they're going to post it on Facebook. They're going to put it on TV. And I took that at the very beginning. Oh, man, I wish you wouldn't do that. It makes our county look bad. But then I realized the idea behind it was we're going to let the criminal know that they don't need to come here. And that has been their push. I do believe the sheriff's office does a fantastic job, and I know our county commission has really cared about our law enforcement, and so they've worked hard on both public safety sides of trying to make sure that we have good enough pay for them to obtain and retain the best people. That's been something that we push for. I know Officer Kurtz back there with our law enforcement committee. So that's been important to be able to get the best people, but our sheriff's department does do a tremendous job. As you go back and you look, you know, doubling the size of the jail, that wasn't an issue for the county commission to pass. A multi-level court system wasn't. 5 WEMA station wasn't. They believe in public safety and want to push that. And you know, as we talk about the ICE facility, he didn't mention that, but we fought hard to make sure that that didn't happen here with a lot of other people. That would have not been good for our county in no form or fashion. And so that was a win that I hope you celebrate and know. But we do live in a safe place here. We are prepared. We continue, as he talked about, more technology and advancement has really helped us there in many ways that probably we can't even talk about here, but things that have been done to make sure that you live and feel safe wherever you go. So I am thankful Commissioner Chief Justice actually sent me that question. We talked about it a little bit, and I told Mayor Bell, and he pointed it out, is that, you know, with the population growth, you might think since 2015 to 2024, the crime rate will naturally just go up because you got more people here. And so we double checked. So the numbers he gave me, he clearly pointed out, this is not gone down in percentage-wise, it's gone down in individual cases. And so even though we've grown a lot of people, the individual crimes and case-wise, except for 3 categories, have gone down. And so I think that is tremendous and good, and we're excited about that. Fiscal responsibility is next. I pay high taxes, and I don't see the benefit. I really don't know where my tax dollars go. The county must be wasting money or spending it in the wrong places, and they just keep raising my taxes. The table question was, what does fiscal responsibility mean to you, and how should the county decide where the tax dollars go, and what do you do with your county tax dollars? Can you name the top 2 budget items? Who has that one? Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Nick Bishop, Volunteer State Community College. In terms of financial responsibility, I do have to say, as a Wilson County resident, I appreciate how well Wilson County government manages our tax dollars. Was a county commissioner in another lifetime, so I understand the struggle you deal with. And the top 2, well, let me go back. So how you spend those dollars, we appreciate you being, keeping funding the things that are necessary, but also planning for the future, whether that's a rainy day or other problems that pop up. And in terms of the top 2 items, education and public safety. And I did hear that Wilson County may be getting an amusement park, if you want to address that. Just kidding.
Thank you so much.
But I do hope you brag and take credit, along with Mount Juliet and Lebanon, the Guardian Shield program. If you could maybe talk a little bit about that, because we capture a whole lot of crime coming out of Davidson County, and it's really related to the investments that you all have made in technology and infrastructure that's really made a difference. So it's not just what happens in Wilson County, but we're catching a lot of crime that's coming across the state. So maybe that's take credit for that, if nothing else.
Thank you. I'll leave that with the police departments, and then Corey Johns will answer about the amusement park anytime you want to after this meeting. Wilson County does want to take care of your dollars, and we do our best to do that. We have tried to make sure that we do spend the money. I mean, you don't want me to keep it in a safe and not spend it on things like he talked about with the Guardian and other things to help. But Wilson County is the 2nd wealthiest county in the state with the 2nd highest median income. We've balanced our budget the last 6 years, passed it on time. We take pride in that. Grown the fund balance, which you would call a savings account, but what is where we pay for a rainy day. In 2014, it was $37 million. Last year it was $150 million. So we have worked hard at putting money back for a rainy day. Now that helps us also reach a better bond rating, which also saves interest money when we borrow money. So that's a win-win. But I want to give a statistic about growth. Residential home value since 2000 has increased 224%. Therefore, the tax base, what we spend money on to provide you services, has grown 377%. Sales tax growth, again, tremendous around here. 210, it was 10 million. It's 60 million today. Hotel motel taxes have grown so significantly here that there are 2 more hotels coming in 26, 4 in 27, and 2 in 29. And those hotel motel taxes, of course, they fund different things, and we'll talk about them a little bit in just a minute. But we take pride in the 12 schools in 12 years and the 5 WEMA stations and doubling the size of the jail and the multi-level court system and those things, because we've only raised your taxes twice in 16 years to provide all that. And we think that's a big deal. People talk about our debt. In 10 years, 60% of our debt will be gone. So we have short-term debt. We don't have long-term debt. We are a AA plus bond rating, which I don't like. There's only 4 other counties in the state that have that, but there's 3 above us that have AAA, and that's where we want to be, and we're working to get there. So we do believe in living within our means and doing what we have money to do with until we get more money to do more. But we have been fiscally conservative. I'm thankful for the people that work with us to make that happen. Transparency in government. Everything in Wilson County government is decided by the Good Old Boy Network. Regular residents don't know what's happening until it's too late, and it's too hard to know what's really going on in the county government with so many behind the closed deals and under the table situations. The question was, how do you describe your current perception of transparency and collaboration in local government, and what does transparency in government mean to you, and how can it be improved? Sarah, who's got me? Okay.
All right, she didn't know what she was asking for. I'm Marcy Carter with Compassionate Hands, and I just want to share that overall, I want to say thank you for the panels. I think they have been highly educational and appreciative. I think that is a great start. I really cannot speak to collaboration between all of the counties because I'm not at those meetings. And you've already shared a couple things today that I was not aware of. Because a lot of us in the resource agencies are busy doing our work every day, we don't get to watch the mayor's schedule to know that he's meeting with people at the Glade, talking about where tractors should be and where they shouldn't be. But I'm glad to hear that. So my suggestion, and I did not get to talk to everybody because I was trying to eat, sadly, is just also go to the people with lived experience. So here at Compassionate Hands, we get phone calls from people all over the place. Here in this room, we are all super blessed to be here, but we get phone calls all the time from the working poor. As we grow, and all of you guys are doing all the awesome things you do, we hear that the working poor are growing. So I don't know, you may already be doing it. Just go to where the people are. Their organizations, their businesses, the school systems, the community centers, their churches, all of those places, to ask the same questions that you're asking us here, because I'm pretty sure they're the ones leaving all these crazy comments on your Facebook posts.
Thank you so much, Ms. Marcy. You know, our goal has been, and I'm going to start out with hiring practices, and then I want to go to address a little bit of what Marcy said, but you know, the jobs that come under me, ever since we've been there, I had an experience at the very beginning. Our finance director was leaving, and my sister-in-law, Lou Ann, was leaving Toshiba. And so the question was, you know, should I apply or should I not? And I tried to talk her out of it, but then I got to thinking, you know, if Lou Ann is the best person, she ought to get the job. Just because, you know, her brother-in-law is the mayor shouldn't bother that. But I thought then, and I fought the whole fight the whole time that I took over office, the good old boy system. And I hear that still today. Y'all do things behind doors. There's not a job that we've hired since 2010 that we haven't put a panel together to hire. And we posted every job that we in control of. I don't control all the government offices, but the ones that come under our office, we put a panel together, and some of you guys have been on that panel. So we do our best to make sure everybody has a fair shot at doing that. We didn't have an HR department when we got there either. So we got and created an HR department to make sure that our employees were represented, but also their department heads and government officials were also represented when they needed to do whatever they need to do with our employees. We created Wilson County TV. It started out just kind of educating people about what's going on in the county, and then turned into doing every commission and every committee meeting where you can see it at home in your pajamas. We recently updated our website. We did do the Looking into the Future series, what she's talking about, because there is so much misinformation out there, information that people don't know about. And so we've done that for 3 years in a row now. I have Meet the Mayor the last Wednesday of each month at Lebanon in the morning and Mount Juliet and Watertown. Every last Wednesday. We've done it ever since we've been there, that you can come in and talk to me and talk about anything you want to talk about, and you don't need an appointment. We go on the radio station monthly. We have a newsletter we put out. And then we do our best to put out press releases every time something comes out and try to get it to you. So when people say to me, you know, hey, I don't know what's going on, I can understand that, because when I was teaching and coaching, I didn't know what went on either until it bothered me or affected me. But if you want to know, there's plenty of opportunities for you to know. And going to people, Miss Marcy, I go around the county every day. I hear people talk every day. I don't go to everybody's table, but I'd be glad to come to your table and eat if you want me to, or just invite me. But we do get out and get engaged and talk to people. But most of the time, they come to us, and I'm very thankful for the office staff that we have that takes care of those people with professionalism. They are very good. Go to education. Wilson County keeps going. I got to be quick. Education, Wilson County keeps building schools, but they're understaffed and overcrowded. The school system is falling behind. The school system just can't keep up with all its growth, and students are the ones suffering. Table question, what do you believe about Wilson County education system, and what would you like to see improved? Is there any information you're curious about concerning on how educational systems function, and what would you like to know more about? Who's got that one? Okay.
Hi there, Joni Cochran. It's an election year, and I'm running for state senate. What do we believe about the Wilson County education system? We believe that they're working miracles with doing more with fewer resources every day. And I think the fact that they're working miracles with what they have speaks to the talent that we have in our schools. What we would like to see improved in our system is more money in our system. The state is starving, in our opinion, starving our school systems for cash. We need to get the state to release some more dollars. We need to see better teacher pay, and we need to see smaller ratios, student-to-teacher ratios in our classrooms. I think that's about it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And so we've talked a little bit about this already, about how we're not behind in infrastructure cost. And as you see there, our citizens suffering. Just a quick few statistics. The highest honor you can receive for Wilson County schools is reward schools. Last year we had 6. This year we had 15. Letter grade schools, meeting state expectations in learning, which is the second highest level score you can have with standard achievement and academic growth. Last year we had 6. This year we had 13. And then TVAS scores, which measures the growth no matter where that kid started at until a full year's growth. Last year we had 7. This year we had 11. We've had the superintendent of the year 3 out of the last 10 years. Teacher pay has been increased 19% over the past few years, and the last 5 years have also added step raises. $62 million offered in scholarships to the kids that graduated in 2025. 37 earned their associate's degree and diploma at the same time this year. Wilson County had 7 national merit semifinalists. To me, we have the best school system in the state of Tennessee. I talked to somebody a while ago that said Williamson was ranked number 1, but I would disagree thoroughly with that, and that we have the best. And it is the number 1 reason people move here. Get this one right quick for you. I can't believe it's 2026. Not everyone has drinking water running right out in front of their house. Wilson County needs to do something about these step systems, or they should get rid of the mayor and all the commissioners. You know, they built LaGarter School and didn't even have a sewer system in place. It's ridiculous. What is the difference between septic, step system, and conventional sewer? Who has that?
That's right. That mayor, my gosh, what are we going to do with him? So, you know,
if there's
back here at the federal delegation table, what a better table to talk about crap than the federal delegation back here. So,
and nobody better to talk about it than you, too.
That's right. That's right. Well, Mr. Mayor, let's see. So I went to Dr. Google, who knows everything, and your conventional septic system, probably if you live out in a rural area, that's going to be a buried tank that receives your waste, and it stays there. I'm shortening the answer. Step system, you're going to have a modified septic system where these liquids are going to be pumped, the solids usually stay, and your sewer system, probably if you live in a municipality, everything's going to be taken away to the city, and they're going to clean it up and do what they do with it. So those are the 3 from Dr. Google, Mayor.
Thank you, Ray. Nobody can clean up crap better than you can. You know, he does have a gift of gab for sure. When you hear Wilson County Water and Wastewater Authority, they are working hard. They were created to bring water to the rural area of the county, and they've done a good job at that. The step systems that they've hired with the Denas, that's been an issue across the state of Tennessee. They're working hard at cleaning that up and making that better. They put a moratorium in so that they can get their problems fixed before they move forward. But they don't have anything to do with Wilson County government, and we get blamed for it most of the time. They're a Wilson County Motor Company, which has nothing to do with me either. So they have the name, but I do believe they provide a good service for the people in the county that need water. Now, it's not everywhere. 90% of the county has got potable water, and you think that's good, but for the 3% that don't have it, they're not happy about that. So I do want you to know that Wilson County government and our commissioners, we got some money during COVID called ARP funds, and we gave $5 million of that to the Wilson County Stormwater, LaGarda, West Wilson, and Glayville Utility District, as well as Wilson County Water and Wastewater Authority to put new stuff in. But we also got some more dollars that we gave grants to them to help them as well. The Water Authority got $5 million. LaGarda got $2.7 million, Glayville got $3.5 million, West Wilson got $1.5. Broadband, DTC got $800,000, and United Communications got $1.5 million to expand that. So we work with our utility companies, but they are standalone and they are separate. We appoint their board members is the only thing we do. They get no tax dollars at all. And of course, Wilson County does not have a sewer system, or do we have an electric department. I want to go to tourism. Tourism is just not a hotel, is just a hotel event industry. There's no real money in it. What entities, industries does tourism affect, and how does that affect our local economy? Who's going to talk about tourism? Yes.
Hey, Mayor Jason Johnson. I threw batting practice to my son yesterday, so I appreciate the easy gimme here as the Director of Tourism. What industry and industries, everything. If you want to talk about right out of the gate, sales for food and beverage, retail, everything. A visitor comes into our county, they drop money, they leave. So in that, with tourism, we get the influx of the tourism dollars without the burden of having a resident in our county. There's no burden on our schools, there's no burden on our roads, there's no burden on that. But yet we are still, with our tax dollars we're collecting, giving money to the schools, to the roads, and things like that. It's been said that more and more people are trying to find out where they want to live before they find out where they want to work. So as a tourism industry, we are a quality of place industry for the residents of Wilson County.
Thank you, and you do a tremendous job, and I appreciate the work you do there. And just so you know, hotel motel tax that comes in here, or tourism dollars, they pay for the tourism department. They pay for the Ag Center. They pay for the Expo Center. Those are hotel motel taxes, and that's where tourism comes in. So if you have an increase in tourism, that equals an increase in visitor spending, which is an increase in taxes collected, which means that's less burden on my taxpayer. So all of that works together, so you want that. 91% of the accommodations of people that stay in a hotel are from 50 miles away from here. 52% of the food and beverage is bought in Wilson County is bought by somebody outside of here. Now, I calculated that and said, okay, that 48% of the people are not eating at home, but I wasn't for sure. Some of you got it. 61% of sports is contributor there. NASCAR is probably the biggest one there. 28% of our gas tax is paid for by somebody else. So what I'm telling you is people traveling through here spend per year $370 million here in Wilson County. That's not your dollars that you get to get benefits from. That's $38 million in taxes. That's $4.6 million for us locally as county citizens that are here. Just to give you two more things, and then we'll move on. B&A just invested $40 million in the airport that we take advantage of. In 2030, the Super Bowl is coming to the Nissan Stadium, and the Nashville Speedway events have continued to be a hit time and time again. So, you know, Jason, I appreciate you. I'm glad you had that question. So there are a lot of things that are going on, and I didn't get to the question, and I'm going to pass that question up. So a lot of good things going on, and I hope today was not boring. I hope it was informational. I was at the Meet the Mayor yesterday, and there was a longtime resident there that simply said, you know, I never knew that you didn't control the water in the county. I always thought you did. And she is a longtime resident here. And so I hope today was informative, but I hope it just told you that you live in a great place. And you may hear people get on Facebook and fuss about this, and I would applaud you if you got back on there and countered some of these things, because they're important. Because people believe that me and everybody around here is corrupt, and that is not the truth. And we bust our tail every day to make this place a better place for you. And I hope you know that. I hope you feel that. And there's a lot of great things going on here. And so to me today, on our last day here for the state of the county. I really want to honor a lady that has put, don't be doing that, has been put a lot of emphasis on making what we talked about today better. Melanie, President and CEO Chamber of the Wilson County Chamber, come up here. Don't be crying either. Come on. Let's give her a round, please. You can be seated. Melanie has been a blessing to every one of you here. She has given her life, her heart and soul, almost literally, to this job. She has worked herself to death. And we would like to take just a second to honor her for some of her accomplishments, not all of them, but some of them. And we're going to have a rose presented to you by the people as we talk. Susan Shaw presents the first rose to recognize Melanie for her guidance and support in making the Looking Into the Future series possible. Melanie, thank you for your time and commitment to keeping our citizens informed. Corey Johns will present you with a rose for Wilson Works. Melanie's broad leadership here helped to guidance this project forward and to help our students be linked with our workforce. Mr. Jeff Luttrell, Director of Schools, presents rose to Melanie for her work with We Love Our Teacher project, showing love and support for our teachers and staff as they start the school year every year. Annie Barger will present a rose symbolizing Wilson County Kind, Melanie's longtime commitment to promoting kindness throughout our county. Josh Major, which is without a hat today, and that's tremendous, presents a rose honoring Melanie's contributions to the Ag Management Committee. There's no part too small at the Ag Center for Melanie, and we value you for all your work there. Helen McPeak with Wilson County Promotion presents a rose recognizing Melanie's service to the Fair Board. As the Ag Committee, every road matters, and Melanie has never stopped at what needed to be done for the fair. Melanie has served, as Andrea comes forward, as President and CEO of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber since January of 2015, 11 years. Her colleague and friend Andrea Wicker presents those roses for her dedicated service to Lebanon and Wilson County. Melanie has built strong relationships in Mount Juliet and Watertown Chamber and is being presented today as a symbol of that from the Mount Juliet Chamber and a second rose for the Watertown Chamber to show the appreciation for all of the work that's been done. I'm going to let you stand on this side, if you will. Thank you so much. There's been a great unity brought together in our chambers. I don't know if you know it or not, but I've seen that unity happen, and we thank you for all working together to make it better for everybody. Sarah Hastings is presenting a rose in recognition of Blue Ribbon Initiative back during the COVID days, which honored our local business and sustaining commerce and rising above the challenges of COVID. Nikki Jones is presenting a rose to Melanie, work with the Women in Lead. Melanie was instrumental in getting this program off the ground and getting it started. John McDermott, president of the presenting a rose for 10 community and effort by the local banks and chambers to strengthen our small business and community. And John's going to say a word here.
So I knew Melanie was going to be a great leader when I was about 4, and she convinced me to dress up as a girl to play dolls with her, and make me excited about it. That's what great leaders do. They excite you about things that you have no idea you should be excited about. As I look at my mom, eventually I told my mom, listen, Mom, I cannot play Judy anymore. Will you please tell Melanie to let me go on that? I think it's also very fitting, Melanie, that your last formal meeting here at the Chamber is on here at the campus of Castle Heights Military Academy that's displayed some around the room, where we learned about teamwork and discipline and leadership and integrity. And so as I think about Castle Heights, and as hard as that was to close, that ended that chapter, of the military academy opened a whole new chapter of this business district where literally thousands of people come and work and play and eat every day because of the mayors of Mayor Bell and the many mayors previous to that. And then finally, I'd say thank you for being a wonderful sister, an amazing mom to Emma and Mary Caroline, to showing all of us what it means to take on a challenge, to overcome challenges, and be who God ultimately wants us to be by working hard and loving people. Congratulations from your brother. I love you very much.
You're going to cry me. Melanie, will you accept this rose? Oh, wait, that's the wrong story. I'm sorry. There we go.
Next year's theme.
Yeah. Melanie has been a true friend to me and to all of you. She has made Wilson County better. She's demonstrated what love means. As her mama told me one day, she has plenty of love to give. And she's done that to each one of you. We thank you for your service to us. I'm going to ask her mom and her two daughters to join us now. And I'm going to ask the chamber ladies to present a ribbon. We're going to have one last ribbon cutting. This ribbon cutting is a cutting that's going to signify a new chapter in your life, an exciting chapter. You're going to make other people better. You've left this place better than you found it, guarantee you. And now you're going to go make other people happy and make them better. Thank you for what you've done for us. And we're going to cut this ribbon. I'll let whoever wants to take pictures in a second, but this ribbon is in your honor as well. It's an orange ribbon. Go Big Orange. And Melanie, these scissors are sharp, so be careful. We know how many times you said that to everybody else. Melanie, don't cut until I tell you to. It's not time to cut yet. Philip, get up here with us, please. Is everybody, and we're not going to cut yet. Make sure all the pictures are done. Get your eyes ready. Let's take a picture. Here we go. Hold it tight. That's what she says. Don't cut it. Don't cut it yet. Okay. We'll tell you when. Don't cut till we say when, please. Please don't cut. And if you will, sign this for her before you leave today. Are we good? Please help me count it down, if you don't mind, as we cut this ribbon for Melanie's new exciting adventure and time in the future. Count with me. 3, 2, 1. Cut away. All right. You are dismissed. Thank you for being here today. Good job.